In this video, I wanted to talk about how we can actually use ChatIQ to build chatbots for our clients. So a lot of users are now either running automated AI agencies where they're building chatbots for their clients and they want to use ChatIQ for this service. Now, ChatIQ doesn't have a specific white labeling feature, so you won't be able to have a login for your clients where they can log in via a different portal and they can see your account branded in your own colors and your own logo. If you would like something like that, this course is obviously part of the community, and you can let me know in the community and we can discuss that for the next future coming up updates. But for now, if you want to use it, it's very easy to do. You can see here, so this is the actual account that I'm using for all of the ChatIQ chatbots that you will interact with on a daily basis. So the first thing to note is if you're building this for multiple clients, the easiest way to do it is literally just by managing it using data tags. The next thing to note is upload all of the data that you're going to need first. I have had a few issues with actually adding data to a chatbot that's existing and how long it takes for that to update. So if you're building a chatbot for multiple clients, the best way to do it is upload all of the data first and then build that chatbot. Make sure it's all working and then obviously integrate it into that client's website. Then if the client needs any updates to their chatbot, if they need any more information, we'll go through that as well. So with that being said, imagine, for example, these bits of data here are for client 1, and then these blue ones down here are for client 2. The easiest way to do this is when we're uploading our data, let's say we are scraping a website, we come over to the URL section, we can fetch all the links from a specific domain, all of the visible links that don't have any HTML errors or anything like that, where we can actually scrape the text. We can do that, or we can do one link at a time. Alternatively, if you want to, you can literally just copy the text and paste it in as a text file. So we're going to use ChatIQ as an example. I should just go into a different account that I've got, just so I don't get everything confused. So ChatIQ.ai. And depending on how large the website is and how many links there are and how much text is on each of those links, this could take anywhere between a minute to 5-6 minutes. What we're going to do here is we're then going to create a tag for the data. So for example, I'm just going to call this client 1. Alternatively, you could just call this ChatIQ or whatever the business is, the company is that you're working for. Give it a tag and then click on tick. Now we're just going to wait for this to finish and I'll come back once that's done. Cool, so that's done. We've got all the links through into our account. Those are set up as ChatIQ. I'm then going to go ahead and scrape those URLs, and I'll add those to our database underneath the tags that we just created. So if I head back to the data feed, and if we scroll down, you can see that it's now processing that data. Now, one thing that's very important to note here, you may want to manage your data slightly differently, because you'll notice that actually what's happened is it's scraped the link multiple times. So if you visit ChatIQ's website, you can click certain buttons and it will scroll to certain parts of the page, which is what these hashtags mean. So ChatIQ hash wtab0 data, those are all the same page. You see 728 words are all obviously the same amount of text. So there's no real need for me to have these 3 and this one. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete this data here and then delete data. Cool. That page will refresh, and if we come back to the data feed, it'll take a second for all the data to load. We click on filter, ChatIQ, and I think these are URLs. Okay, so you can see obviously we've got the ChatIQ filter on. These are all of the data for that specific client. So obviously if this was one client, now we have all of their data organized in one specific way. If we wanted to, we could always come back and then upload a PDF. So I'll just do that example as well now. Just going to select this PDF file here. Once that PDF has been scanned, we can also add it to this tag as well. We're going to wait for the text to be extracted. So this would be a great example of coming back and adding additional data for that client. So I'm just going to upload an extra 4,000 words. And obviously it depends on what plan you're on and how often you're going to need to update and add more data to their account. And then if we come back to the data feed, you scroll down to the bottom, you can see here this is the new data that we're adding. 4,000 words, that's currently still processing. But if we just filter, we're back to filter stuff by ChatIQ. We've now added that data to their folder essentially. So if you use tags as folders, imagine them as folders to organize all of your files, then you can very easily find the data that you need for a specific build for a specific client. So the way that I like to do this, when you build a chatbot for that client, you've got 2 options. You can either use this button here, go through the files and search for the data. The way I do it is I select the data here, I filter it by tag, then I select the data that I'm going to need, and then I build my chatbot. Now, depending on what you've already got in your account, you may already have a prompt that you're happy to use for all of your clients. It may be that you're creating custom prompts for all of your clients. And like I say, in the community, there is a whole detailed breakdown of custom prompts, but I will show you a very good example of something that you can do for your clients at the end of this video. So we can obviously reuse prompts. Now, when you're using a prompt, make sure that the prompt hasn't got any information that's client specific, like emails, for example. If there are specific things that you would like to include, like an email for that client, customer support email address, I would always recommend adding it into the prompt and working on the prompt for a specific client. But you can always use this as a template. And then obviously just give it a name, give it an intro, and all of this can be branded for the client. Now, at the moment, you can't actually change the button logo of the little widget on the web page. Now, that is coming in an update, so that will be available very soon. So if we just click on Build Chatbot, that chatbot is now ready to use. So just to quickly run through this, if we come to the Settings panel, we click on our chatbots test. This is the chatbot that we have just built. So imagine, for example, this client is ready to use this chatbot. We want to then get started and add it to the website. Well, the first thing that I would do is I'd come back to the data feed, select the chatbot that I'm working on. We're just going to create a test chat. I'm going to start working on this chatbot. You can see here, this is the data that it's currently referencing. So if I ask the chatbot, what is ChatIQ? It's then going to go away and use this source information for a response. And obviously, it's only using this information. So ChatIQ is an AI-powered platform, enables you to build custom chatbots for your business, and then it's come back with a whole detailed response. You can see here, this is where it's getting the source information from, all of the ChatIQ pages. Now, obviously, it's not using this PDF because this is just a sample PDF that's got nothing to do with ChatIQ. So if I decide I don't want this in this chatbot, I can go ahead and delete this file, well, not delete it, but remove it from the chatbot. So now it's only going to be referencing these 4 bits of data. And obviously, for example, the way that you could do this is each of these is a chatbot for a different client. This account that I have here, I have the ability to build 15 different chatbots. If you have more clients and you want to increase the limits on your account, or you want a custom plan, go ahead and email us, help@ChatIQ.ai, and we can work something out for you. You know, if you want to have a certain number of chatbots and you want to increase your word limits or your message limits, then let me know and we can go ahead and do that for you. That will be very easy to create a custom plan for you. So now imagine, for example, that client's chatbot needs to now be embedded in the website. Well, all we do is click on Share Chatbot. We're going to get the corner bubble widget. We're going to copy this code here, and then we're going to head over to the client's website and paste this in the head code. So that will leave us with a chatbot on the website that looks like this. Now, obviously, any branding that you would like for that client, you can go ahead and use it. If you would like to be able to remove powered by ChatIQ.ai, then you'll have to be on a higher plan. I think it's the enterprise plan to be able to do this. So if you need any help with that, also email me at help@ChatIQ.ai. I can help you with removing that as well. So that is how you would build chatbots for your clients. So for example, now, let's say that client has updated their website, or they need to update their chatbot, or there's any extra information that they need to add. Now, if, for example, you ask the chatbot a question and it doesn't know the answer, the best thing to do is come back to the data feed and upload a specific file with a load of FAQs in it. I'll show you an example now. So I've gone back to the ChatIQ account, and what I've got here is a PDF file with a whole load of FAQs. There's 4,000 words in here. And I'll show you what this file actually looks like. So this is an example chatbot that I was building, and I'm testing out the responses that it's getting, and these are the bits of data that it's using. So here is the ChatIQ's FAQ. And if we open this, you can see here, I've got very specific questions and responses that the chatbot can use. So if someone wants to know how they can manage their data, I've given it a step-by-step guide on how to do that. How do I cancel my subscription? There's all that information, but also within the answer, I've also included our email address. So the chatbot will know if that person wants to contact us via email, it will know that's the email address. And I've done this for multiple different questions. What is the source column? So this is a very specific question about the chatbot workspace. And obviously, the more questions that you add into here, the more knowledge your chatbot's going to have. So if you're not getting the answers specific to that client, or there's questions or things that it's missing out, you can include all of this in an FAQ document. Go ahead to your data feed, upload this file. Once that file is uploaded, you then have two choices. Now, if you come over to the chatbot that you've just built, so let's say, for example, this is the chatbot for a client that we've just worked on, we can add that knowledge to our chatbot. So we can just quickly add in that PDF test, and there we go, we have it here. And then the chatbot should reference the data from this test file. Now, it may be that sometimes that this doesn't work, or it takes a while to populate. So if it's something that you're trying to get done very quickly, the easiest thing to do is very quickly just rebuild the chatbot. You can reuse the same prompt, you're not going to lose anything. You can just go ahead and rebuild the chatbot and obviously include the new file in that new build, and then obviously come to share, copy the new widget and replace the old one. So the old one then will no longer work. You'll then need to replace it with the new one. So it depends on how you want to run things, how you want to manage things, but this should work if you just add in the file here. Then it should start to reference that new data. Now, final thing I want to say before we leave this video here is how to sort out prompts for specific clients. Now, again, in the community, there is going to be a whole load of stuff on prompting, but for now, I wanted to go through a specific example prompt that I was working on the other day, which is very useful if you're building customer service chatbots. So if we come to the prompts library here, obviously we've got all of these public prompts, but down here, these are our private prompts. Now you'll notice here, if else, this is what I want to talk to you about, but you can actually find this if you come into the public prompt library, come to customer service, I think it's saved in here, if else. So this is this exact prompt that we're going through. So if you want to use this prompt, go ahead, you can use this, just save this prompt and add it to your library. Now obviously I can't save it because I've already created it, I've already got it here. But when you do that, just read through, because I've got a link, Trustpilot, and I've also got a Calendly link here, and I've also got a help with ChatIQ here. So make sure that you make any changes to these, because this won't work specifically for your client. If you just copy this, then they're going to get some very strange responses. But I'll walk you through this step by step. So basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to show how you can build a phase or different phases of conversation. So essentially the chatbot can understand emotion from that user, and if it's a positive response, it can ask them to leave a review via Trustpilot. If it's a negative response, it can get them to book in a sales call with the sales team. So then obviously the sales team can then manage that customer. And the easiest way to do that is by following this rigid structure. So I basically said you will follow a rigid if-else structure. And like I say, this will be in a lot more detail than some of the other videos. Phase 1 and Phase 2. Phase 1, we're going to analyze the message for emotion. Then we're going to decide if the user's happy or sad. If they're angry, we're going to move to step 5. If they need general help, move to step 2. Phase 2 is just a general help. This is the chatbot, which is just going to help them answer their questions. And then obviously I've got a list of rules here that the chatbot needs to follow to make sure that it's going to give the correct answers. Now, as a quick side note, in these rules, for example, never invent a ChatIQ email address. Only point the contact for users is the help at ChatIQ email. I've included the email for customer service multiple times within the prompt, and I recommend you do the same for your clients, just because there is no way for the chatbot to know that email address unless, for example, that is pasted multiple times within the training documents, and you don't know whether that's going to come up when the chatbot's using it for its response. So always include any support links directly within the prompt like this. But to go back to here, I've then said if they are angry, and I've given it an example of what an anger would be, which would be obviously, I hate this company. That is an angry response or message from a user. Then it's going to always ask for them to book in a call with the sales team, and I've given them this link that they need to use to book in a call. Then I said try and manage the situation and calm the user only once I've given them this link. Okay, and then I said move to step 6. Step 6 is just resolve the conversation and help with user questions, then move to phase 2. The same thing goes for step 5. If the user is happy, and I've given an example, I love this app, it's amazing, or if they give positive feedback and thinks the company or app is good, give them this link, Trustpilot, and always ask them to leave a review. So this template works incredibly well. I'll show an example now. So for example, I said I love this app, it saved me so much. No, hang on, this is not the one. So we've just done an example here. I've said, I hate this company. It said, I'm sorry to see that you feel that way, blah, blah, blah. You can schedule a call with them using this link. Now, I am working on an update which will turn these into buttons. That will be coming very soon, but for now, we'll just paste it as a link that user can then copy. If I then say, actually, my mistake, this app is amazing. I love it. What it's going to do is understand the context of this. So every single time I send a message, it's going to go through that prompt order. So phase one is going to work out, okay, is this a positive or negative response? And then it's going to decide what to do. Now, don't forget that the previous messages was very negative. Now this one's very positive. So it may not decide that this is already a positive conversation. But you can see it's decided that this is a positive conversation because it said you can leave a review using this link here. So you can do an awful lot with the specific prompts. And obviously, if I've built this prompt for you, you guys can go ahead and use this. Come to settings, and I go to the widget 2, which is the example that we're using. You can see it's using that if-else prompt. So that gives you an idea of some of the things that you can do within ChatIQ. So if you're building it for multiple clients, just a quick summary, head to data feed and create multiple data tags for the specific clients. And then obviously you can use that to build multiple different chatbots. And obviously from each chatbot, you can embed that into a website. These 50,000 message credits I've got a month are global, which means if I send 50,000 messages on this chatbot, then all of these other ones will no longer have any message limits left. So if you want a custom plan where you have more messages, depending on how big your client is or how many messages your client is going to be getting to their chatbot, send us an email and we can work on a custom plan for you very, very easily. Get that done in a matter of hours. All right then, so hopefully that video was useful, and if you've got any other questions, send us an email.